Hi guys, welcome back to our channel. My name is Nicole.
And I'm Dave.
We do astrology and tarot, and also we offer a lot of healing courses and one-on-one consultation. And today we want to bring some fresh perspective on birth chart. So birth chart, you might see something like that. So what is it, right? So a lot of astrologers, including us, we usually say that that's the snapshot of the sky at the moment of your birth. But what is the snapshot? What's up with that? Planetary energy, and how does it turn into the 2D form, right? So that's why we want to bring some new look. This is you can find it in astro.com. Astro.com has a lot of feature. We are gonna have another separate video on how to get your birth chart from that site, or maybe other alternative astrology popular site as well. But today, let's look into that. Okay, let's go.
All right, so here is astro.com. And when you go here to find your birth chart, you can click on the menu there, go to free horoscopes, and go to horoscope drawings and data. You can either go to chart drawing ascendant, or you can just go to extended chart selection. We'll go here. And then you can go to chart type natal, web style default. And this is where you check your house system. We just leave it on default. And when you go to show chart, it'll show something like this.
And this is my birth chart. Maybe this is really familiar to a lot of people. And this is divided by 12 signs, and it shows the each zodiac, and depending on your rising sign, it starts the ascendant, which is the first house. And what we're using as an example is the not equal house system, which we use it as well, but this is more
The Placidus. Yeah.
so we're, just in case you want to know, we're using in between Placidus and the whole sign depending on the situation.
Yeah, and this is tropical Western astrology that we're using.
And this is divided by 12, and
Yeah.
that's the moment of my birth and the placement of the planet. And now from here, let's look into different perspective.
Imagine this is the Earth, and this is a star constellation that is orbiting around the Earth at the time of your birth. And so you can see here that it's east, north, and south, and the west would be on the opposite side of this wheel. So imagine this is three-dimensional. And at the time of Nicole's birth, the rising sign, the star constellation of Sagittarius was rising on that eastern horizon. And that is why this is when the soul meets the physical body. Whatever rising sign you are, it will have it would characterize what physical features you get. So,
And also every 2 hours, because Earth is spinning, right?
Yeah.
So every 2 hours it spins, it goes through all the one zodiac sign. So every 2 hours you have a different sign. So that's why accurate birth time is really important.
exactly.
So if I born like 2 hours later, I wouldn't be Sagittarius.
Yeah, she would be a Capricorn rising. So you can see Capricorn is here, Sagittarius here, and then you got Scorpio, Libra, Virgo, and then Leo right here on the midheaven.
And let's talk about ascendant. So we usually explain our client that ascendant is our soul meets our physical body, right? So it brings a lot of characteristic on the person's physical shape, right? So for example, Cancer rising people have a tendency to have a large chest, both male and female.
Yeah, Nicole has a Sagittarius rising, and for Sagittarius, it's all about the centaur archetype. So it's half human, half horse, and
Yeah.
so Sagittarius is known for nice, beautiful butt,
Hips and
butt
thigh.
and hips and thighs, and because it has the characteristics of the horse.
And also Sagittarius is known for tall, like height. They're usually really, really, really tall, but I'm not that tall. I do have a Sagittarius body archetype, but however, because when you actually see right above my ascendant, the Saturn is there. When Saturn is placed in the around the ascendant, it brings the another perspective in that person's physical body.
Yeah, restrictions.
In my case, the restriction didn't come to other area, but it comes to like I'm petite, but I do have all the Sagittarius quality, but I'm not that tall to be Sagittarius because when like really good quality Sagittarius body type is usually like 5'7", 5'8", 5'9",
Or even taller.
even
Yeah.
taller.
Especially if there's Jupiter in the first
Oh
house.
yeah, they're like
Yeah.
really long. But like I'm not short, but I'm very small, and in my frame I'm long.
Yeah. So it's like if you think about like cooking, there's like a base recipe, right? So within that base recipe, it's like all of the qualities of that star constellation or that rising sign would all be there. And then whatever additional ingredients you add, so whatever planet is in that first house or near that ascendant line will add to that recipe. So again, if you add Saturn, then there's going to be some limitations and restrictions to the physical body. If there's Jupiter, then it might expand. So the expansion could be height, or it could even be like getting bigger or fatter, right? So
Or if Mars is
Yeah.
around that ascendant, because remember, this is when our soul meets the physical body. So when Mars is there, those peoples are like athletic. They're like really good at sports and any types of survivor.
Yeah.
So it kind of sets the tone for our physical body. So that's the place you look for.
yeah, and then if there's Venus in that first
Oh,
house,
they're beautiful. They're
then the
so beautiful.
Venusian beauty is like adopted and added to that base ascendant.
Like
right?
another example will be Libra rising with the Venus around there. Those peoples are really symmetrical. They're like left side and right side is exactly same. They're really balanced. And maybe they're not really beauty standard in the beauty industry. However, they have a really beautiful, elegant look.
Yeah.
They looks like an art piece.
Yeah, and then they have this like this aura, right? That it kind of attracts like like bees to flowers or bees to honey, that kind of thing. And so you really adopt that energy or that archetype right into your physical body.
And it's
Yeah.
also in this chart, we're gonna look more other
Perspective.
from the like west, east, north, and south view. But here I just want to mention that the bottom of the chart, the slightly darker area, this is ascendant to the IC. So this is really personal area of our chart because of this is more like a nighttime. And when your sun is here, then we know that you actually born in nighttime. When your sun is out to the brighter side, then you actually born into the daytime. So that's the indication, that's the placement you can find it as well. And as you can see from this view, IC is the deepest bottom of the chart, right? And also in zodiacal wheel, the bottom of the chart is IC. Whether like either you're like this ascendant, that ascendant, doesn't matter. The IC is the deepest part, and also our soul meets our soul family and ancestor and our roots.
So again, when we're dealing with the IC, we're dealing with the family roots. We're dealing with the deepest part of the chart where it's the most private. This is where you feel most safe and secure. And the natural placement for the fourth house is Cancer. And so the Cancer the crab, it's like the archetype where it's like it brings the home with it everywhere it goes.
So that's why people feels
Yeah.
very secure. And for example, when someone has the Cancer placement in the ninth house, when their ninth house is about the traveling, you go far away.
Yeah.
So those people need to bring their home with them. So they have a tendency to bring so many things with
Yeah.
them.
Like a camper.
Yeah,
Yeah.
like a camper
Yeah.
trailer.
Yeah.
Or to me, when I'm like, traveling, I pack really light. Just, sneakers, jeans, t-shirts, maybe scarf and my backpack. That's it. But some of my friends who has a Cancer placement in the ninth house, they carry like a 5 bags and everything, and just for in case, because they have to feel safe and secure, feel like a home when they are
Away from home.
exactly.
Exactly. So whatever sign you have in that ninth house, will determine what type of traveler you are, right? So it's really important to see that there is natural house placement, but then when you have a different ascending sign, then it really just changes the characteristics of that area of your chart.
And again, so AC is the our soul meets our physical body, and then the physical body comes to IC meets the soul family and family member in this world and our ancestor, right? So in tarot, that fourth house Cancer's archetype is the chariot, in case you're wondering what a chariot card looks like. So chariot is the vehicle. So as you can see, this being is owned by some kind of vehicle. There's a two sphinx there. So naturally, there's a two vehicle we can access. The first one is the when we born into the family, it's prepared by our ancestor and our family member. So this that represents of our family, and some family has wealth, some family doesn't have it, some family has a lot of, like let's say relationship with the society. Some families are very isolated, so you can actually look into that family quality in through the fourth house as well. And the second vehicle I want to emphasize is the vehicle that we really call that as a true chariot. So you can access that when you find the true self, then that vehicle just activates, and then when you ride on that vehicle, that shoots you off to the mid-heaven, which we're here to achieve our goal, the achievement of the life.
Yeah, and all of these signs have a polarity. So if the fourth house represents Cancer, home, and security, then the opposite would be the 10th house, and that's Capricorn's house. So what does Capricorn, the goat, want to do? It wants to climb the mountain, right? So the highest achievement in life is the furthest point from the home that's safe and secure.
And let's look into the other perspective of the globe map. So here, the IC, the bottom of the chart, is where I met my family. I came to this world with my physical body. Here I see. So from this personal perspective, the deepest emotional perspective, the highest achievement will be the top of the chart, right? So that's set in my mid-heaven. That's why astrologers look at mid-heaven as a career. But however, a lot of people get their career through their value system or their family or social pressure or based on money and things like that. So that mid-heaven maybe is away from what they do in everyday life. So that's why those people, when they retired later in their life and they decided to pursue their passion, and then the last maybe 10 years of their dedication of their like pouring heart, that become the highest achievement aside from their job they serve for like many years. So the chariot, I talked about the two types of a chariot. First one is you just born with it. The other one, you have to access it when you find your true self and what you want to do to your life. And that one, you can actually access it any time in your life. It's just matter when you want to activate it, right? So if you don't do anything about it, then it usually happen later in the life. But if you actively pursue your true self, what you want to do, what you want to achieve in this life, true to yourself, then you can access it really easily. And this is actually based on tarot and astrology and Kabbalah, and also many other mystery teachings I inherited from many teachers. And if you're interested, I am actually working on putting everything together and working on between tarot and astrology corresponding and bringing all the numerology, symbolism, and the meaning behind it. So if you're interested, when I'm ready, I will let you know.
So let's look at some other perspectives of the sky map. So we were looking at it from the eastern horizon, and now let's look at it from the western horizon. So you can see it's like, imagine it's a 360-degree sphere, and you're now on the other side. And you can see that all the signs that weren't available on the other side you can now see it. So we ended on Leo, and so Leo is here, and then we got Cancer, Gemini, and Taurus, and Aries, and Pisces, and Aquarius down here.
So you still see the AC and MC, but it's from the descendant perspective. And then we talk about the AC is the where your soul meets the physical body, but DC is when our personal self meets the world.
Yeah, and how we relate to other people. So this is the relationship area of our life.
Yeah, that's the gate that you actually show to the public. So everyone now can see. So what you actually bring into the really open area. So for example, we talked about ascendant. I have a Saturn, so it makes me a little bit petite to be the tall Sagittarius. And Dave has the Chiron in his descendant. Chiron is usually the indication of the trauma and usually happens in the childhood people carry, and that makes difficulties and blockage. And a lot of people in the younger age, they work with the Chiron with the overcompensation mentality. And in Dave's case, because of his childhood trauma, he overcompensate to meet with the people to become the member of the group. So he was really pouring unnecessarily energy into that area, right? So that we can actually see from this perspective.
That's right, because the original childhood wound came through a relationship, right? So this relationship could be like anybody in your life. It could be a direct family member, it could be a friend, it could be aunt or uncle,
Or a teacher.
yeah, or a teacher. So for me, it was my father, right? So the relationship with my father that affected the way I relate to people. And in my upbringing, I realized that a lot of people have issues with their dad. Like it's a very common thing, but no one really talks about it because I guess they feel like less of a man or they feel ashamed to talk about that wound. But I realized that the more you talk about those wounds, it really does build up your strength. And then I don't feel like I need to overcompensate anymore because that side of me started to heal.
Especially his Chiron is at the gateway to meet the world, right? So that's kind of interesting. And you can check your birth chart or your family's members birth chart if that Chiron placement is at the gateway.
Yeah.
That's kind of a strong indication that you should look into as well. And let's see another perspective.
Okay. So here's the north perspective. So you can see east and west horizon, but now we're looking at it from the north view, and you can see here that the IC is down here, and that means the MC is all the way up here at the top.
And then let's look into the other.
Yeah, so here's
View.
the other view, the south map, south sky map. So you can see now you got the midheaven up here, and the IC would be all the way down here on the other side. So you can see that the zodiacal wheel is now going around the earth, and then when we go back to the birth chart, you can
And conveniently, they put into the 2D form,
Yeah.
and they divided the 12 different area so that people can interpret easily. So first
Yeah.
house is about the sense of the self. Second house is the hard-earned income as well as the inheritance value. Third house is about the communication and sibling. And fourth house is about the IC, where my physical body and soul meets the family into this 3D. And also about my home, my family, my roots. And fifth house is about the creativity. And sixth house is about the routine and health, service to and care energy. And seventh house is about all relationship, including significant others and love relationship, hate relationship, to any contractual relationship is all there. And then eighth house of death, sex, other people's money,
Transformation.
inheritance money, and ninth house of higher learning, international traveling, or sometimes immigration you can find in there as well. And 10th house is about the achievement. I told you when you actually find the second true chariot that activates your true self, and you can hop on that vehicle, and that the vehicle shoots back to 10th house of achievement, why you actually born into this life. And I heard that when people activate that second vehicle in chariot, that they feel like everything is supporting. The universe is supporting, and whatever they do, it just doors just opens up. And
Exactly.
yeah, magically, and that they just meet the right people, right time, right timing. So that's the indication of you are doing what you're supposed to do.
Exactly, because this is a blueprint of your life. It's a map, and even though you have free will, like it's basically like when you follow this blueprint, then you're going with the flow. You're going with the energy flow that you're supposed to go in. But if you're using your free will to do the opposite of what your birth chart represents, then everything seems to be a lot harder.
And as I mentioned that earlier in this video, a lot of people they maybe do a good job because of the social pressure or like a
Family,
parents'
yeah.
decision or the based on money and success, the status they want to achieve in this life, and what they think it is a successful life. So away from their true self, right?
Exactly.
So that makes people sad going into the like mid-age crisis and
and that-
depression
yeah.
and things like that.
And that's the illusion, right? Is that society or even your parents or even your friends, your social group, they sell you on a dream or a vision. And if it's not aligned to your true purpose, or if it's not aligned to your map, right? Your energetic map, then it's like, okay, I got everything that you told me I'm supposed to achieve, but why am I not happy? Right?
Exactly.
It's because you weren't using that authentic chariot that you're supposed to use to go from down here into your family right to your career achievement. And you can generally tell what your true vocation in life is by looking at this 10th house.
And this snapshot of the planetary energy, the moment of your birth, actually tells a lot.
Yeah.
So I hope this really, like bring you fresh perspective of the birth chart.
So in summary, you can see how the cosmic energy gets downloaded into our physical body at the time of our birth. And we are really connected to a higher source. You can call it God, universe. You can call it whatever you want, whatever your belief system is. But we do believe that there is this divine intervention. And there are times in our life where things just happen out of our control. It's because the energetic blueprint that we have, once these planets are triggered, it unlocks certain events to unfold in your life, because there's this soul contract that, okay, I'm going to choose this life. And if I choose this life, then I'm guaranteed to have certain types of experiences, or the potential is there, right? So again, people who are more aligned to their true energetic blueprint, they seem to have everything go their way. But the people that either have really difficult placements of planets, especially like Neptune, then it's kind of like it creates this sense of illusion. It's really hard to go in the right direction. So again, to know your birth chart, I think it creates a huge advantage for you.
And also, astrology is really great way to start to know about yourself, very objective view from the planetary energy, because everything is connected as above so below. What happened in the sky at the time of the your birth, and you inhale the energy, and that becomes who you are. Your physical body becomes the so below, and it's unfolding from the other planetary energy as well. So if you really want to know about your birth chart, you can find us on our website, and you can find me in TikTok and YouTube channel, and please subscribe our channel to support us, that we can bring more this fun and fresh perspective of astrology and tarot.
And also leave some comments down below and let us know what kind of information you want to know more about in terms of like just even areas of your life. And if you want us to dive into your birth chart, then feel free to book a consultation through our website. It's truetrue.ca, and we'd love to dissect your chart.
And we will bring more fun video. And until then, bye for now.
Take care.